It is time for the GPD versus the Powkiddy X18. Welcome to the Wicked Gamer and Collector. Welcome back to a new versus video. And in today's video we are going to do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison with the GPD Android. This is the first version. And we having here the Powkiddy X18. We're going to do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison. What are the differences? And maybe do a little bit of a gameplay. But the most important thing is that you subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell. And have you done that? So let's continue with this video and let's do a little bit of quick side-by-side comparison. So for the first comparison, let's talk about the casing itself. So if you take a close look at the casing of the GPD and also the GPD Plus, yeah, it looks a little bit like a Nintendo 3DS in some ways, and it's a little bit basic if you ask me. And what I really love about the X18, the design. They give more like that gaming merchandise feeling to it. Very nice curves, awesome decal at the top. And what I also like are the two front speakers. Very nice and very awesome design. So let's talk about the GPD and the positioning of the screen. If you open it up, it's not very loose. We have one position, two, and the third position that we even have the screen horizontal. So that is very nice. So let's take a close look at the X18. It also has this position and the second one, but it doesn't have the horizontal modus. So you are stuck with these two positions. It's got a little bit loose, so I personally prefer it. That it opens it up a little bit easier. So this is the difference between the GPD and the X18. So let's talk about the layout of the buttons. What are the differences with the GPD? Let's see, we have both analog sticks here. The D-pad is at the same position. We are having here the four buttons, only they did some changes with the start and select. So they moved the start and select to here. Most of the things are the same, of course a little button difference like colors. The back button is here, and we having here the home button, and we having here the LR and R3. So that is something that the X18 is missing out, and there were some people who pointed this out in the X18 main review. So if you take a close look at the shoulder buttons, as you can see the model itself is a little bit different, both of the buttons. This one got more style to it, like the system itself or the X18. But here is the big difference when pushing the buttons. You can hear it. So I think the X18, yeah, less clickish and less quality buttons. Alright, let's do a little bit of a side-by-side so you can see the differences. I think this is a little bit better and let's say easier to show you. Yeah, they moved around the start and select button. For example, the back button and the home button are over here. So that's not a big problem if you ask me. And yeah, there is some difference with the colors of the buttons. Here you can see they are transparent. I really love it, by the way. The same goes for the D-pad. The touch of the D-pad is, I will not say exactly the same, but they are close. They are very close. The buttons, or headset, sorry, the joysticks. Here is where it's getting really interesting. First of all, I really love the design of this one. There's a little bit bigger button, so if you're holding it, it feels more comfortable. But if you look at the touch, this is more like a wiggly joystick, and this one feels way better. So let me know what you prefer, a wiggly stick or a more like an your regular joystick with a little bit more feedback to it. Alright, let's talk about the sound quality and where are the little speakers. We are finding the two little quality speakers here at the top of the system. They didn't put them over here, no, they give more style to it and they are at the front of the system. To be honest, I think the GPD is in that way a little bit better because when you're holding the system, you're having the sound directly to your ears. And now if you're holding the system, they are going to point at your feet or point to another position. Alright, let's do the sound test. Maximum volume for the X18. And now we're going to do it for the GPD. So what you can hear go back to the GPD. That the X18 is a little bit louder. Alright, let's do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison with the screens. First, the GPD Android. And now we're going to do a little bit of a capturing of the X18. So the first thing you maybe have noticed, the X18 screen is a little bit bigger. Alright, let's take a closer look at the screen of the GPD. And putting them side by side, you can see the difference. I must say, if you look at the details, I think the screen of the left one, the GPD, is a little bit better if you look at the details, but overall, I really love this big screen, EPS screen they are using on the X18. So let's do a little bit of an hardware specifications comparison. What are the main differences between the X18 at the left side and the GPD Android at the right side? The first chip we are going to out is the X18 Powkiddy, and this one is running on a MediaTek MT8163 that is running at 31 MHz. So if I understood, this one was released in 2015. So let's take a close look at the GPD Android, the first version. This one is running on the Rockman chip that is running on 800 MHz, also a quad core that is made in 2014. So it's an older chip, but is not prehistoric old or something like that. So the X18 having a 720 Mali GPU. But what is the most interesting part is that the screen itself only has a 51 Hz of a refreshing rate. Alright, let's take a close look at the GPU of the GPD Android first edition. This one got a Mali T760, but the refresh rate of the screen is 60 Hz. So that is where it's getting really interesting. Smaller screen, but a higher refresh rate. So that concludes the side-by-side comparison if you look at the hardware specifications. But let's talk about the price. The reason why I wanted to do this comparison, the X18 versus the GPD Android number 1, the price, because the GPD was pretty damn expensive when released and the X18 is not that expensive if you look at the specifications and what are you going to get. But where it's getting really interesting, the GPD is running on a 60 Hz refresh rate LCD EPS screen. So this is where it's getting very interesting, because the X18 is running on a 51 Hz LCD EPS screen. So if you want to play some games, I think this is going to be a biggest difference and the biggest thing. I will leave a link in the description of some testing and information about the chips itself. So if you want to look it up, check it out. This concludes this side-by-side comparison with the GPD and the X18. So let me know, what is your favorite system? I'm opening a poll for this, you can vote. Please let me know, what is your favorite one, the GPD or the X18? And yeah, just leave it in the comments why this is. So if you're considering buying one of these systems, I hope this video helped, and I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.